This painting was created by René Magritte, a Belgian surrealist painter of the 20th century. His surrealist works have always provoked much debate, as the symbols depicted in them do not allow for a single, clear interpretation. Surrealism is a genre distinguished by the combination of forms, colors, and images that cannot be found in reality. Such paintings often carry a hidden meaning that can be understood only by carefully observing the details. Unlike classical symbolism, surrealism entirely consists of these details, which is why descriptions often turn out vague and not entirely obvious. The painting, The Lovers, like most of Magritte's works, can be seen as a kind of riddle that demands interpretation. This painting has given rise to a huge number of interpretations, each of which has the right to exist. In 1915, the artist began to devote himself seriously to painting. Settling near the Royal Academy of Fine Arts, he planned to take courses there and created his first works in the Impressionist style. At the Academy, he discovered an interest in Cubism and Futurism, and later in the Dada movement. But it was in 1926 that Magritte created The Lost Jockey, a painting considered to be his very first surrealist work. Magritte's paintings emphasize the inability to distinguish between reality and the mental images created by our imagination. His works often require careful analysis and consist of several layers of imagery, as if superimposed on one another. In his painting, The Lovers, René Magritte depicts a couple in a passionate embrace, kissing through white sheets that cover their faces. This cinematic style was undoubtedly influenced by the artist's love of film. In particular, the Fantomas movies, directed by Louis Feuillade. It is likely that this fascination greatly shaped Magritte's creative vision and awakened in him a love for the game of hide and seek. Magritte often used various metaphorical images and symbols in his work. The most intriguing element of this painting is the white cloths covering the lovers' faces. Many art historians draw parallels with the tragic story of the artist's childhood. Magritte's mother, Regina, suffered from deep depression for most of her life and attempted suicide several times. Concerned for her safety, Magritte's father, Leopold, decided to lock her in her bedroom to prevent further attempts. But the fatal day still came. When the future artist was 14 years old, his mother managed to escape her confinement. Regina was searched for several days, but only her lifeless body was found in the River Sambre. When her body was brought to shore, her head was wrapped in her nightgown. The artist avoided speaking about this topic, even with his own wife, and insisted that critics overestimated the influence of this event on his art. Yet the recurring motif of a head wrapped in fabric suggests otherwise. According to the most widespread interpretation, the artist sought to embody the expression, "Love is blind." The lovers are a mystery both to the world and to each other. They are so consumed by passion that they see and hear nothing around them. Magritte seems to hint that love is blind, that two people do not need to physically see one another to love each other. The sheets may also symbolize the object of desire shared by the two lovers. However, the meaning of the painting is hardly limited to such a simple, surface-level interpretation. Magritte not only covered the eyes of the lovers, he wrapped their heads in cloth, evoking another metaphor, to lose one's head over love. This generates new associations. Love is not only blind, it deprives a person of the ability to think rationally. The lovers not only ignore the world around them, they do not even see each other. They are entirely consumed by passion itself, rather than by one another, and therefore lose the ability to see or hear anything else. The artist often left comments on his works, but he provided no explanation for this painting, leaving viewers free to draw their own conclusions. Few people know that The Lovers is part of a series of 4 paintings, each created within a year. 3 of the paintings share the same title, distinguished only by Roman numerals. As in the first painting of the series, in The Lovers 2, the couple's faces are covered with white cloths. This time, however, they are not kissing, but simply standing side by side. The Lovers 3 once again portrays the same couple, but this time Magritte shows us their faces. The man, depicted next to a young woman, appears to lack a body. His head floats above his lover's shoulder, creating a feeling of unease. Finally, in the last painting of the series, the same couple is shown once more. The young woman sits on a rock, her arms crossed, locked in a passionate embrace with the man, who again has no body, only a floating head. Magritte's painting has had an enormous influence on modern art. Thank you for watching until the end. What emotions does this painting evoke in you? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe.